Chucky Jeffrey successful in the Omni Hotels Classic.
And basketball getting going, taking along in-state rival Sports Mag now.
Hello and welcome to this week's Sports Mag. I'm Audie Streetman sitting alongside Annie McDonald, and I know we have a lot to catch up on
We do.
after Thanksgiving. Yeah,
that's true. And let's go right to the highlights from football game the day following Turkey Day. And that was CU taking on Utah. And here they come, John Embry and the Buffs looking to break their 23-game losing streak. Early in the first quarter, Tyler Hansen finds Paul Richardson. Buffs looking good early on, trying to break that 23-game out-of-state losing streak. Tyler Hansen, the senior, final day in Boulder, Colorado. Embry fired up about that. He's ready to go. And maybe the story of the game last week, Peterson for Utah made 3 big field goals in the snow to beat UCLA, who's going to the Pac-12 championship. Not today. He misses that one. Utah coming back. Touchdown for them, but not to respond. Coming back is senior to senior. Tyler Hansen, Tony Clemens, touchdown. Hansen is fired up about that one. Now coming out, nice play fake, another senior to senior combination on their final game for the Buffaloes. Hansen to Harrington. This time though, Utah not going away. Sack there by Josh Hardigan, another senior. We continue to see those happen all the time. Pass now, Utah to Tony Vakapuno. Say that 3 times fast. And onside kick coming our way, but Derek Webb, the linebacker, not necessarily the hands team you want, comes up with it. Tyler Hansen gives it away right here. Picked off, and looking like Utah might come back down 14-17 right here. But another field goal miss, 25-yarder. Peterson just wide right, over 2 now on the day. Remember that fact, foreshadowing perhaps. Utah not going anywhere, but forced fumble right into the waiting arms of senior Curtis Cunningham. Seniors all over the place again. And watch this one. Here comes senior to make actually it's a freshman making a little not so smart play. Personal foul, John Major here. Senior once again coming up with a big play, pushing them back to 56 yards. And Peterson once again wide right. Buffaloes win, break their 23-game losing streak. John Embry said, it's not going to take a while, but it's going to be worth it. And that sure was. And let's take a look at those stats. And the Buffalo sneak out the win 17-14. Tyler Hansen, big day, 246, 1 touchdown. Tony Clemens stepping up, 4 receptions and 102 yards on the day.
Moving on to some Pac-12 highlights, we had a very, very busy week, starting off with the USC-UCLA game. If we have those highlights, USC won by quite a bit, 50-0. As you can see here, Matt Barkley makes a touchdown pass to Marquise Lee. Overall in the game, Lee had 2 touchdowns for 224 yards. And despite the loss, UCLA will take on Oregon tonight for that Pac-12 title. And again, here you can see Marquise Lee making yet again another touchdown. Here he's handed to the ball, he runs towards the end zone and then will make that dive, putting up USC way high in that game.
One more year.
And then moving on, Washington took on Washington State University. Washington won 38-21. Keith Price made a touchdown pass. He had a total of 291 yards. And then Notre Dame and Stanford, they were up 21-7. Luck pass to Cody Leaner. And then moving on, also the Oregon game was really important too. They play tonight again, and it was a pretty important game. Cal took on ASU. Zach Maynard to CJ Anderson for a 74-yard pass. Maynard had 237 yards and 1 touchdown. That covers your Pac-12 roundup. The 6th-ranked Colorado men's team placed 3rd overall in the 2011 NCAA Cross-Country Championships on Monday. Senior standout Richard Medina raced to an 8th-place finish on the cross-country course. The men's team recorded 144 points in the team's race and finished just 5 points behind number 2 Oklahoma State. Number 1 Wisconsin won the meet with 97 points. The CU women's team finished 11th overall with a team score of 335. CU graduates 3 men, including Medina, from this year's team.
Coming up after the break, the men's basketball team takes on in-state rival CSU.
And Ron Knabenbauer and David LaRose break it all down for us in this week's Double Team. Stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Jeremy Bloom, former CU student, football player, Olympian, and world champion. But most importantly, I'm a forever Buff, which means I'm part of 240,000 students and alums created by the CU Boulder Alumni Association. The University of Colorado will always be something I'm very proud to be a part of. The years that I spent going to school and playing football provided me with some of the best memories of my life. So come join me in creating lifelong CU relationships and explore the Forever Buff program.
Don't be mean. Clean your machine.
That's right. Do I look like a commingled contender to you? All I want is newspaper.
Why don't you bring that bottle over here? I won't be spitting it back at you.
Alright, boy, why don't you bring that bottle over here to commingle so these boys stop bickering and ruin my night.
Last year, Tad Boyle and his Buffs were left on the outside looking in at the NCAA tournament. This year, they are determined to show the committee they deserve a spot in March by already playing a tough schedule out of conference. Another early test was against in-state rival CSU, which always proves to be a good game. Well, here we go. 2 Fort Collins and Carlin Brown, the former Ute, knows what the Rams look like. He played against them several times before transferring to Colorado. Good ball movement here, and the freshman has to step up. Ski, as they like to call him, a ski, a Booker, 2, and the foul. Coming the other way now, we keep moving, and Tomlinson in the corner. The Aussie makes that one. Buffs down 7, though, at the half, 32-25. Buffs still stay in it. Adams here with a big 3. Colorado was 6 of 10 in that second period to close the gap. Once again, here's another play. Back to Austin Dufall inside of a minute. Dufall, the senior, puts the Buffs up 1. CSU goes down to score, putting them up 1. 10 seconds left. Nate Tomlinson trying to find a play, trying to put the Buffs ahead. Down 2, has to step back 3 at the buzzer. It goes begging. Buffs lose to in-state rival, and the fans from CSU rush the court.
CU's women's basketball team looked to stay undefeated as they took on the University of San Francisco Wednesday night. The Buffs get started early as Chucky Jeffrey rebounds in the air and connects with Lexi Kressel right here for that easy layup. The Dawn's Whitney Daniels answered back with a move of her own. Faking out CU's Jan Reese in the paint, Jeffrey intercepts a pass and takes it to the hole. This would be many baskets for Jeffrey tonight. Here we are, Jeffrey again, this time from behind the three-point line. It dances along the rim, but it's good. But once enough, Julie Seabrook dumps it back out to Chucky and nails another 3. Seabrook goes for a 3 herself, but looking a little off, she hustles for her own rebound and puts it back for 2. San Francisco's Taj Winston gets 2 with a jumper. She would finish with 8 points. Sophomore Brittany Wilson takes it down the court, and the Buffs are just too quick. Jeffrey adds 2, Kressel with the assist. Jeffrey fakes and then drives to the basket for another easy. She would finish with a career high of 26 points. And then here Winston with a jumper and the swish, but the Buffs would continue to charge ahead. Freshman Jan Reese secures the rebound, power dribbles, and banks the fadeaway jumper. Kressel goes inside to Seabrook, who fights with the Dons defense but fights her way through for 2. The Buffs would win the game 84-66 and improve 6-0 overall. Let's see what the players had to say after the game.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we did a great job on the boards. I thought we were grabbing rebounds. I thought that was definitely our focus coming in. Chucky stepped up and knocked down a couple threes, and she has to continue to do that. I told her she needs to go 1 for 2 every single night. I think today she went 2 for 2. So
I was just playing the game. I didn't force anything. I took what was given to me, and I knocked down my shots, and that's what coach tells me to do. When you get open shots, you need to knock them down, and that's what I was focusing on.
As you just saw, the women's basketball team is now 6-0 on the young season. But believe it or not, the team has started even stronger before, much, much stronger. Which brings us to this week's trivia question. What is the best start for the women's basketball team in CU history? Mull that over and we'll have the answer later in the show.
We are all excited here at Sports Mag about the women's basketball team starting 6-0. Given their fast start, do you think the team is A, the tournament to lock this year, B, too early to tell, or C, no, they have just not played anyone of substance so far? Vote for your feelings on our website, cusportsmag.com.
That's right. The men's basketball team close loss to CSU, just saw that on Wednesday, shows the Buffs are experiencing many growing pains.
That's right. David LaRose and Ron Knabenbauer break down the game and tell us what we can expect to see this season. Take it away, guys.
Hello and welcome to Double Team. I'm Ron Knabenbauer and alongside David LaRose. And David, the men's basketball team, they finally kicked off their season. They opened up a pretty good win against Fort Lewis, but their season really didn't begin until Thanksgiving break. They go down to Puerto Rico, hoping for a good showing. Didn't quite happen.
Right, they came away with a 1-2 record in Puerto Rico. They lost their opening game to Wichita State. Then they lost a close game to Maryland where they had that lead at halftime. They were unable to bring it out in the end. But then they won their final game against Western Michigan. It was 81-76, so it was a little bit of a close game for my standards.
Yeah, you always want to get that last win when you go to a tournament. We saw that a couple years ago with the Buffs in Maui. They beat one of the host school down in the Maui Invitational, helped really propel them for the rest of the season. And really, it was a great year where the Buffs came back in that Big 12 with Jeff Fizdelick's final year. Hopefully, or at least early thoughts so far this year, it looked like it was going the same way as then the Buffs came back home and they head down to Colorado Springs to take on an Air Force squad, which was a tough game, but they pulled out the victory in overtime.
Right, the Buffs did not play their best. Air Force is a tough place to play. Air Force kind of took CU out of its game. Spencer Dinwiddie didn't have that great of a game. Andre Roberson got into foul trouble, but they were able to stick with it. They forced the game into overtime, and then they ended up winning by 3 in overtime. I believe it was 76-73.
That is correct, and they come home, they play the Georgia Bulldogs, a team that they had pretty much on the ropes last season down in Athens, couldn't pull out the victory. This time, they were able to pull out the victory, a late comeback, and it was good. We were all feeling good about the Buffs after, again, a big win against the Bulldogs, even though free throws, it was kind of a problem.
Yeah, in the beginning, Georgia they came out of the tunnel shooting. They were on fire in the first half, hitting their threes, but Tad Boyle told his team to just calm down, play your game. They'll eventually start missing those threes, and that's what they did in the second half. The Buffs started on an 11-1 run at the beginning of the second half to kind of take control of that game. It got close towards the end because, like you said, Ron, we did miss a few free throws, and that's been our bugaboo so far this season. So they need to shore up on that, but they weren't able to do that for their next game against Colorado State.
That's right. We just saw the game up in Fort Collins last time. The Buffs played up there. The CSU fans, they rushed the court.
Yeah.
And this year, the CSU fans, unfortunately, rushed the court once again. A disappointing showing for the Buffs. CSU in no way should have ever been in that game against Colorado. But the Buffs, They had trouble on the free throw line. They really couldn't take an opportunity of any shots that were really given to them and any open looks. And it was a good comeback near the end. They just couldn't really shut the door on the final shot by Tomlinson.
Yeah, we missed, I believe it was 16 free throws and had 15 turnovers. And you're wondering how we were still in that game towards the end. Dufault hit a few clutch threes late in the game, and they had their shot at the end. Tomlinson brought the ball up the court. A bigger man switched on to him, so he had to shoot over a taller defender for the three, kind of rimmed in and out. And it was a disappointing loss in Fort Collins.
How worried are you about these free throw situation? They lose their top three free throw shooters last year, and Alec Burks, Corey Higgins, and Levi Knutson. And now you have people like Austin Dufault and Nate Tomlinson, who typically in the past have not been really good free throw shooters, and they're the ones who are now taking a lot of these shots.
Well, yeah, they talked to Tad Boyle after the game. They asked him the question about the free throws, and he said it's all a mental thing. The players also said that, so they just have to get into the gym, work on their free throws, get back mentally correct with their free throw shooting, and I think they'll be fine.
It's never good when your captain, your senior, Austin Dufault, he's shooting 50% from the charity stripe. Well, that's all the time we have for Double Team. He's David LaRose. I'm Ryan Knabenbauer. Back to the desk.
Thanks, guys. Up next, Sports Mag will be taking a look back on what CU Athletics was up to over Thanksgiving break.
That's right, and 28 seniors will graduate from the football team, and their last home game in Boulder was one to remember. Don't go anywhere.
How dope was that party last night, man? Yeah, no. Wait, I can't really. You're breaking up. Lost service. Yeah, no, and then he shoved me, and I was like, that's not cool. And so I just rocked him, and it was tight. It was a total dime piece, man. Took me back to my place, had a few drinks. You know what I mean? And after all of that, she told me she had a kid, and I'm not trying to be any part of that right there. You know what I mean? It was a crazy.
I tried. I was looking around. I was like busy. I was like walking to class. I was like.
While Sports Mag was out on break for Thanksgiving, the Buffs didn't seem to take any time off. Let's take a look back over how CU were taking their Turkey Day.
First off, the CU football team hosted their last game of the season. It was senior day at Folsom Field against the Arizona Wildcats. Let's see some more of those highlights. Here we go. Tyler Hansen giving a big bear hug to John Embry. Beautiful day. Got even better for the Buffs. Rodney Stewart, second all-time leading rusher in Buffs history, goes in for the score. Excited about that. Blows a little kiss to the crowd. Now Nick Foles hands off. Big hit once again there by John Major. Seen it so many times in his 4-year career here in Boulder. But Arizona, although 2-9 on the year, didn't go anywhere. They came back, scored that touchdown. But once again, senior to senior, Tyler Hansen to Tony Clemens, big touchdown puts them up. Now Rodney Stewart, second all-time in rushing, but he can throw too. And Tyler Hansen, obviously catch. Touchdown, little dipsy-do there in John Embry's playbook, and it worked out just fine. Arizona once again not going anywhere on the road, but too much to handle. Rodney Stewart, little deke there, goes in the end zone. Buffs go up big, and that will about do it as Travis Sandersfield, another senior, wins first ever Pac-12 win for the Buffaloes.
Well, the CU men's basketball team took on the Georgia Bulldogs in a very close win, 70-68. If we want to take a look at those highlights, starting off in the first play, Carlin Brown dumps it to Spencer Dinwiddie, who goes for the three, and it's in. First score of the night. Later, Georgia, looking to score, misses and goes up again, and it's denied by Shane Harris-Tongues. Sophomore Andre Roberson gets to the steal and drives down the court and gets the slam dunk. Andre would finish 15 points on the night. Carlin Brown goes up for three, and it's good. The Buffs fast breaking down the court. Askiga Booker leading the way, finding some trouble, and adds two for Colorado. Booker would finish with 14 points on the night, putting CU ahead. Carlin Brown goes up for two in this play, but it bounces off the rim. Andre Roberson is there with a rebound, drives up to the basket, and gets two for Colorado. He was fouled on that play, but Roberson finished the game with 15 total rebounds. And then again in the next play, Carlin Brown kicks it back out to senior guard Nate Tomlinson, and the Buffs take the win 70-68.
Buffs also in action down in Colorado Springs against the Air Force Falcons. And Tad Boyle has said he's going to play all the teams in the state, trying to bolster that out-of-conference schedule. And let's take a look at those highlights against the Falcons in Colorado Springs. Buffs coming out on the road, had some struggles last year. This time, Air Force also getting the struggles. Senior Austin Dufault, 2 points there off the glass. Askia Booker from the top of the key makes that three. Ski has been playing well early on in his young career here in Boulder. But Carlin Brown, once again, Mountain West Conference honorable mention a couple years ago with Utah, comes in with a big dunk. Air Force not going anywhere though. 37-36 Falcons just down one, playing tough against the Buffaloes in the Pac-12 Conference. Still playing tough as the Buffs sneak out this win. Austin Dufault right there. And coming back the other way, also Spencer Dinwiddie, another freshman who's playing well, to the sophomore Robinson win.
The CU women's basketball team waltzed down past the competition to take home their third consecutive Omni Classic title last weekend. The Buffs beat Valparaiso on Friday night, setting up a matchup with Wisconsin on Saturday. The victory pushed the Buffs 5-0 for the first time since the 2000-2001 season. Chucky Jeffrey was named the tournament VIP for the second year in a row, and freshman guard Lexi Kressel was also selected to the all-tournament team.
Up next, Sports Mag's Alexis Perry hits the campus for this week's Man on the Street.
And we'll have the question to that pesky trivia answer. Don't go anywhere.
Listen to me just a second. We don't want to be at your party any more than you want us here.
What could we have done to avoid this?
Keep the noise down so no one complains.
Hey, guys, keep it down. The neighbors are complaining.
Make sure anyone drinking alcohol is at least 21.
You sure you're old enough?
And finally, make sure that you don't have too many people.
Man, that would have been easy. I wish I had known the rules. Now you know. Avoid trouble. Know the rules.
We want to to see our children succeed. But setting easy goals for our kids creates the toughest obstacle they'll ever face. Because succeeding in the real world isn't easy. Help the effort to raise standards in America's public schools. Call 1-800-96-PROMISE.
Well, the women's basketball team will notch their 7th win in 7 games this Sunday against the Idaho Vandals. But this hasn't been the first time the Buffaloes have come out of the gate fast.
That's right, bringing us right back to this week's trivia question, and we have it for you one more time. What is the best start for the women's basketball team in CU history? And that answer is, in 1992 and 1993, they started the season 15-0. And again, sophomore offensive tackle David Bakhtiari was named second team All Pac-12, announced Monday by the league office after tabulating votes from each of the 12-member head coaches. A native of Burlington, California, Bakhtiari is the sole CU player on the first or second team. Bakhtiari was one of just 5 sophomores honored on the first or second teams and the youngest offensive lineman. Of the 10 offensive linemen honored, 5 were seniors and 4 juniors, along with Bakhtiari.
That's right, and this week's Man on the Street, Alexis Perry, hit the campus just trying to see about that men's basketball team and how much the students knew about them.
Although winter does not begin for a few more weeks, one season has officially begun, men's basketball. We're going to head into the UMC on the University of Colorado campus to ask students what they know about Colorado basketball.
I do not know who the CU head basketball coach is.
No.
Tad Boyle. He's a pretty cool guy, you know. He's bald. He looks grumpy all the time. So.
Head coach is Tad Boyle.
Nope.
Burke, maybe, was his last name. I don't know if he still plays. Was he the one who graduated last year?
Austin Default.
Andre Roberson.
Carlin Brown. He's actually in my sociology class, which I'm about to go to right now.
He's pretty good, you know. He's a rebound machine. He's not that big, but, you know, he still gets the ball.
Oh, I've met a couple. I just don't know their name.
Shannon, somebody.
60?
Like 40?
62.
19.
I'd have to say it has got to be the Stanford one. Stanford's always a good team, and we'll see what our Buffs can do against them.
Home game against a team that we can beat.
I'd go to the Oregon game. Yeah.
I don't really know which games are at home or which ones are away, but if UCLA comes to us, that'd be a pretty sweet game.
The CU men's basketball team is fresh into the Pac-12 this season, but obviously Buff fans need to freshen up on their men's basketball knowledge. Alexis Perry, CU Sports Mag.
Another CU football player gained recognition this week. Junior linebacker John Major was named Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week for a standout effort against Utah. Major recorded a total of 9 tackles with 2 tackles for loss, which included a sack. Major's key tackles happened during Utah's final drive, which ended in a missed 48-yard field goal. The strong defensive effort allowed the Buffs to win the game and snap the 23-game road losing streak.
That's right. We've already seen a couple inches of snow, but there might be more in the forecast.
That's right. I hope not, but we'll see if Boulder will be getting more snow this weekend. Sports Mag's Alexis Perry has the latest.
Hi, I'm Alexis Perry with this weekend's Sports Mag weather. Let's go ahead and jump into the 4-day forecast. Today in Boulder, it was absolutely beautiful with a high of 41 degrees, and it was also a little windy with winds gusting between 5 and 10 miles an hour. Low tonight will drop down to 22 degrees, and it will start to snow with accumulation between 2 to 5 inches expected through Saturday. There'll be a high of 28 on Saturday and a low of 13 as well. Sunday and Monday, it will be mostly sunny with a high of 30 degrees on Sunday and 23 for Monday, lows dipping down into the single digits. If you plan on heading up to the high country this weekend, Keystone will be open with 20 runs and 9 lifts. It'll be snowing on Saturday with 17 degrees, and Sunday you should expect some AM showers and a high of 18. And if you'd like to head over to Breckenridge, it'll be 16 degrees on Saturday and 17 degrees on Sunday, snowing.
All right, well, I know I'm excited about the snow lately, especially going into the winter season. Have you guys been out skiing, snowboarding, or anything?
I haven't yet. Have you, Andy?
I have, actually. I went up there. Eldora has the most snow, actually, in the state. I learned that after I went up there, so it was a little disappointing, but this new powder, Well, it's going to be nice to get up there this weekend.
It will be great. Actually, my brother works at Beaver Creek, so I'm going to head up there and visit him and spend a few days and just relax and snowboard a little bit.
Definitely. Well, that's all the time we have for this week's show. Audie Streetman, Annie McDonald, and Alexis Perry. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and we look forward to seeing you again.